it was a gun.
I'm not voting.
If we want to build our nation.
The problem with the Somalians.
Just want to experience something else than a black man.
Move on, move
Can't be like a horse with blinkers on.
Honestly say, I was about to have sex and then I pulled
crap,
up.
but it's nice.
I'm Fezekam Zalazala. I'm 29 years old. I'm working as a care worker at Ubuntu Education Fund.
I'm Bongisama Busela, 24 years old. I'm working as a care worker at Ubuntu Education Fund.
I'm Babalwa Kyalana. I'm 26 years old, working for Ubuntu Education Fund.
My name is Themba Kazimkwahu. I was born right here in PE, and I'm working for Ubuntu since 2001. If everyone can be responsible, then definitely we'll be able to defeat HIV. But we realize that most women get infected because they are men. They are not well equipped. They are not well informed in terms of HIV.
In most cases, you find that, as you're saying, women would just give in because they feel like, okay, if I don't do this, then you will go to the next girl that you can meet up and probably maybe beat her up. Yeah, these are the issues that we face with on a daily basis, and the reality of them we see like when it comes to women going to VCT and say, no, I just need to test so that I would know when I have HIV. It's like they're waiting for it to happen to them. It's not, they don't feel like they have the power to actually prevent it from happening.
In our community, most of the parents, when they talk about family planning, they think that they are sending kids to men to go out and sleep out with having sex, but it's not like we are telling the child. The reason that I'm saying go and have family planning at the clinic, then it means you are putting the child safe, because you don't know when the child would get raped and get pregnant out of that. So the child needs to know that that's the dangerous time when they are, starting to have periods.
I think the problem with parents is the approach. They don't know, they are not sure how to approach such topics to their children. Yes, they'd like to talk to them, but it's the approach, So with your help, you do that in their presence. You help them, to be able to approach their kids.
In my family, before, my mother was not talking about this at all, and you wouldn't even initiate the topic. But now she's attending some courses on HIV, and now she's initiating the topic to us. So now we're like, okay, now we can talk about this. So times really have changed, and then working on the parents, so that because they are the ones that are really stereotyped about this. I think it's their upbringing and their era and stuff, because we are born in this, so it's part of us. But then to them it's something new, and it's a whole lot of change.
You first start with their future, right? You first start with their future. Definitely you want the kid to understand that his or her future is supposed to be bright, all right? You first remind the child about his or her future. Then definitely the kid is going to be interested, And then you talk about the issues, the factors that can affect his or her future. To get my point, you talk about those factors. And definitely HIV, pregnancy, those would come up, You talk about everything that can affect his or her future.
I don't think there would be any parent that would say that I want my son to grow up to beat women. I want my son to grow up to be bossy when it comes to women. But it's things they pick up when they grow up through insecurities, through the things that they discuss in the streets. Because then they would have a group of friends standing in a corner, hey, you are a sissy, you wash dishes at home, you are a sissy. I think it all comes with peer pressure and the understanding that is currently out there that if you are a man, you ought to do things this way.
As you are talking, I'm thinking about my two. It's a nephew and a niece, but they are my sons because they don't have parents. Currently, I'm their parent. And as a woman, you can be a parent to them. And what you do is you give them respect. In the first place, you give them respect, you sit down with them and you open up, you talk about everything. And what I've learned is that they get surprised sometimes when I come up with certain topics. I talk about women, a man being in a relationship, and I let them talk to me How do they feel about being in a relationship? How do they deal with a woman? And for example, sometimes I would just, when I'm driving with one of them, I would just play a CD that has a message, and say, I'm playing this for you, and I keep quiet. And then the other then say, okay, you just empower them. And at the end, they will forget that you are a woman. They look at you as a role model, and they would come to you now and ask questions, about women, and being a man. And you forget about the fact that you are a woman, and you tell them, you know what, to be a man, this is what it means, And if you do this and this, it doesn't mean you are not a man, okay? This is what is right and this is what is not right. But at the end, it's your choice, okay? And then they look up at you and they forget about you being a woman, okay? So it's possible you can raise a boy child as a woman.
5 years back, people were still discriminating other people in terms of HIV and AIDS. You'll find that when there's a family member who is HIV infected, the family will kick that person out of the household, or they will say, we won't eat with you, you have to stay in a separate room, like using your own utensils.
Currently, more men are becoming involved, and I guess it's because of the information, empowerment that is going on within the communities. At least now more men are empowered and they get involved, and that makes a big difference.
It differs from urban to rural. Like in urban setups, you discover that it's easier to actually communicate and educate men.
In our churches, like, the men are the leaders. So if you can get those people and intervene in the HIV, and then they buy into it, and then they can just preach to the whole church, because discrimination is exactly where it was in the church. Like the HIV discrimination, it was at its best in the churches. So, and then it goes back to the family, because the father is a pastor and then the child is HIV positive, and then there's going to be a shame towards the girl or the kid.
I think for me, it's more of making also examples in terms of taking any medicine. Like when you are maybe sick of, let me say, you're having a headache or something, but you are a person that is not always you are not able to take like medication because you feel like these things, they are bitter in the mouth, or they are too big, all those kind of things. Like you make an example of that, because there's nothing that at the very first start you feel like comfortable to do it. So you need to think about your health, because if you are not taking that medication, it means you are not going to get well. Same applies with condom. If you're not going to use a condom, then it means you're putting yourself at risk of getting infected of HIV and other sexual transmitted infections.
You used in drinking beer, right? Then one day I give you some wine, and you don't usually use wine, and definitely that wine won't taste good, right? But if you explore and go to different brands or different flavors of wine, you'll get one that will feel, oh my God, I didn't know that wine is also fine. So did you know which condoms are you using? Did you know that you have different brands of condoms, And maybe you can try, Maybe he doesn't know that there are different brands of condoms. And you make him understand that, hey, there are different brands of condoms. And you know what? They don't feel the same. If you can try, you'll tell me. Okay? And then definitely he's going to be curious. He's going to be curious and try, And at the end, and forget about how you feel about the condom. Try different brands of condoms, and definitely you'll get one. Because, for example, unfortunately, I'm not going to share with you, but I have my preferred brand of condom, and I didn't know up until I tried it. Okay? So try for yourself.
There's a general perception that if you hold yourself as a woman in a certain way, like if you carry yourself in a certain way, and then you probably supposed to be treated a certain way. And I guess it all goes back to personal decisions that we all make. I think with this generation, guys our age, I would say, they are more modernized in a way. and they understand if you. It's all about values and principles that you carry yourself with that will determine what kind of a person you're going to be with. Because if he's a jerk, let him go. Simple.
That's personal. Yeah, it all depends to the person really with the values, that the person have, because you cannot let a man like control you about your body. No way it should go. If the man cannot listen to what the way that I feel, then it means that person needs to go. I cannot stand that on my side, but shame. The one that I'm having, it's a good one. It's good one. He listens.
It is changing. Before, really, it wasn't like that. It was all about what they want, and it was all about sex. But now things have changed. They have changed, I believe. But maybe we meet with different men. But they have changed. They do consider you as well, like your feelings and what you want. I'm not personalizing. You don't want to get personal. So, okay, some men. I missed my point. Okay. Well, some men, yes, they do consider your feelings and what you want.
And as a woman, you should know who is right for you.
Yeah.
Okay?
And
So
you should know what is right for you.
and what is right for you, and you should be able to tell, okay, this one is not right for me. And forget about the fact that you love the person. If he doesn't have morals,
It's not enough.
you should be able to let him go. Okay? Let him go. And when it comes to discussing sex, it differs from one man to another. Other men, they don't. But it's bad not to discuss sex with your man. And you don't have to discuss sex when you are about to have sex. Just as you are next to each other, posing, in bed, you're watching a movie, you're talking. You have to discuss. You have to know each other. And he has to know, what a woman wants. And he has to share with you what a man wants, Okay? So that you know each other better. Huh? Yes,
Respect. It's about respect.
because so that you know each other very well. You know what to do, and you know what not to do, and you know what makes one
Tick.
cry. Yeah. So in a relationship, you should be free to do whatever that you feel like doing. But if you don't know each other, you don't even know what to do and what not. Okay? So I guess for men out there, hey, talk about it. Communicate.
My dream is to have, it will be similar to Bongi, like to have that stable family, which I'll be married. I'm not sure when, maybe after 10 years, I'm not sure. But also like staying with my 2 kids and seeing them like growing well and getting what they want in future.
Okay, my dream is to be successful in everything I do. I would measure success by being able to go into political development, basically in policy making and traveling the world and having a stable family. A stable family I would consider as a family where there's a mother and a father and children that are growing up to be great things in life. Yeah.
My dream is to be in a happy family of my own, happily.
I once had a dream, but unfortunately it didn't come true. And I don't have to share what the dream was. Huh? And then my dream now is to see these 2 sons of mine, which I love very much, being responsible men, and achieve their goals. That is my dream.